Imagine investing your life savings into a company that promised to change the future. The world's biggest investors believed in it. The media called it the next revolution. Politicians praised it. Millions of people trusted it. But behind the polished presentations, billion-dollar offices, and confident speeches, there was one terrifying secret. Nothing actually worked. It all started with a young entrepreneur who claimed to have invented a groundbreaking technology that could transform healthcare forever. During every public presentation, the demonstrations looked flawless. Investors watched in amazement. Reporters called it the greatest innovation of the decade. Within only a few years, the company was worth billions of dollars. The founder became a global celebrity. Magazines featured them on their covers. Universities invited them to give speeches. Governments discussed partnerships. The company hired thousands of employees, built luxurious headquarters, and expanded into dozens of countries. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But inside the company, employees started noticing something strange. The technology they were supposed to build never seemed ready. Whenever investors visited, engineers were ordered to stop asking difficult questions. Demonstrations were carefully rehearsed. Equipment was replaced minutes before presentations. Employees were told never to discuss the real performance of the product with outsiders. Most workers believed the problems were temporary. Every startup faces challenges, they thought. But one engineer wasn't convinced. Late one night, while reviewing internal reports, they discovered something impossible to ignore. The company's own testing results completely contradicted every public statement. The technology wasn't revolutionary. It barely worked. At first, the engineer refused to believe it. Maybe the reports were outdated. Maybe improvements hadn't been documented yet. But the deeper they investigated, the worse the truth became. Executives already knew. Instead of fixing the product, they focused on improving marketing. Millions of dollars were spent on advertising while engineers quietly struggled to solve problems that seemed impossible. Every month, new investors poured more money into the company. Every month, the promises became even bigger. Employees who questioned leadership suddenly disappeared from important projects. Some resigned. Others signed strict confidentiality agreements. Everyone was afraid. The engineer faced an impossible decision. Stay silent and protect a successful career. Or expose the truth and risk losing everything. Weeks turned into months. The pressure became unbearable. One evening, the engineers secretly copied internal documents, testing reports, and confidential emails. Then they contacted an investigative journalist. At first, the journalist thought it sounded impossible. A company worth billions couldn't simply be pretending. But after weeks of verification, interviews, and independent testing, the evidence became overwhelming. The story was finally published. Within hours, financial markets reacted. Investors panicked. Shares collapsed. Employees rushed out of the headquarters carrying boxes filled with personal belongings. Television networks around the world interrupted regular programming to cover the breaking news. People who had once celebrated the company's founder now demanded answers. Governments launched investigations. Regulators opened criminal cases. Executives denied every allegation. They blamed former employees. They blamed competitors. They blamed the media. But the documents kept coming. Internal emails revealed executives discussing how to avoid difficult questions. Presentation scripts showed exactly how demonstrations had been staged. Private meetings exposed conversations about keeping investors excited regardless of the product's actual progress. The company's reputation collapsed almost overnight. Billions of dollars disappeared. Thousands of people lost their jobs. Retirement funds lost enormous investments. Small investors who believed the dream lost their life savings. The founder who once stood on the world's biggest stages now faced courtrooms instead of conferences. But perhaps the most shocking lesson wasn't the collapse itself. It was how easily intelligent people had been convinced. Highly experienced investors, world-famous business leaders, government officials, respected journalists. They all believed the same story. Not because they were careless, but because they wanted to believe in a miracle. History has shown us that every generation creates new technologies, new opportunities, and unfortunately, new illusions. When excitement becomes more powerful than evidence, even billion-dollar companies can be built on promises instead of reality. Innovation changes the world. But trust without verification can destroy it. The next revolutionary company may already exist somewhere today. The next billion-dollar promise may already be making headlines. And the next whistleblower may already know the truth. The question is, will the world listen before it's too late?